My beloved child, have you ever wondered if someone you loved had the chance to return just once to tell you the very last thing they never had the chance to say, what would that be? Do not answer too quickly. Sit down, let your mind settle like a still lake after the wind has passed. Listen carefully, for what you are about to receive is not a trivial message. This is a sacred revelation, a holy truth, a final word from one who loved you deeply, yet could not speak it aloud while they still walked among the living. You see, there is a silence that does not exist because there is nothing to say, but because there was never enough time, never enough opportunity, never enough strength to express it. But today, in this very moment, I, the Almighty your God, have chosen to break the veil between two worlds. I have opened a passage between the visible realm and the sacred one, so that what was once buried in silence may now resound within your heart. Today, I want to speak to you about the words left unsaid, about the delay in love, about the truth hidden beneath shadows, and about messages heaven once withheld simply because the time had not yet come. That time is now. You may be hearing these words in the rush of daily life, in the noise of responsibilities, losses, and inner conflicts. Yet it is precisely in these in-between spaces, between love and longing, between prayer and disappointment, that God whispers a truth you have never considered. There was someone who wanted very much to save you, but they ran out of time. There was someone who carried within them a truth that could have illuminated your life, but they never spoke it. And now I, their Lord and yours, am delivering that message to you. This is not coincidence. This is not the result of some algorithm or a careless click. This is a divine appointment arranged by heaven itself. You still remember them, don't you? The one who taught you how to love. The one who endured in silence to shield you from pain. The one whose eyes never betrayed you, even if their words were imperfect. It may have been a mother, a father, a kindred friend, a child you lost but who never left your heart. They have gone, but they did not take everything with them. They left part of their soul here, and that part is the message never spoken. Have you noticed how you have lived with unanswered questions? Why did they leave without saying anything? Why did I not ask them what I needed to know? Was there something I never discovered? These questions are not meaningless. They are the echoes of a truth that was interrupted, and today that truth is being made whole. Keep your heart soft. Be ready to receive what is about to be revealed. For it comes not only from the past, but from the meeting place of heaven and earth, of love and truth, of what you once refused and what you are now called to face. Once this truth was hidden by the cowardice of the enemy, by the toxic winds of lies and fear. But now my angels have gone before you, clearing the way, removing every barrier, so you may enter the land of truth. You know, there are things we can sense without anyone ever teaching us, like the emptiness in our hearts when someone departs without uttering a final word. It is not as loud as weeping nor as fierce as anger. It smolders quietly like a small crack in the soul, widening day by day because of what we have never understood. That person, though far away, has left within you a space that nothing in this world can fill. But have you ever thought that this space is not a loss, but a place reserved for truth? A truth never spoken, a truth that could only be bestowed from eternity. I know you have doubted. How could a single word change destiny? But remember, it was by words that I created the universe. It was by words that I said, "Let there be light," and light came into being. So when you hear these words today, do not treat them as fleeting emotion. They are not lifeless letters, but light piercing the darkness of your soul. They are a promise finding its way home. They are a sacred message, once hidden by the enemy, now released to illuminate your life more deeply and powerfully than ever before. You are living in a moment that will not come again. This world moves quickly. Time does not wait. People pass each other by, lose one another, and mourn in silence. But the moment you are hearing these words is a divinely appointed time. Not every soul is given this chance. Many live their whole lives in a fog because they never pause to hear the whisper of God. But you are different. You are listening. You are present. And this is the sign that heaven still has hope for you, still believes in transformation, still waits for your return. Do not take this lightly, for perhaps this is the one time the truth can reach you in its fullness. Will you step into it? I do not demand your answer right now. But I need you to open your heart. Because right after these words, I will tell you something that person once longed for you to understand, something that if you take hold of it will change your destiny forever. My child, I know your heart still aches. The memory of the one you loved still slips into your dreams, still falls with the silent tears no one sees. There are mornings you awaken with an emptiness no one can fill. I see it, I understand it. And I want you to know that love did not die with death. It did not vanish into nothingness as you once feared. True love is not bound by the body, by time, nor severed by the grave. When the one you loved departed, that love remained more alive and pure than ever, only invisible to your mortal eyes. You have asked, do they still know how I am? And I tell you, yes. I have allowed their spirit to watch over you, to touch you in the gentlest way. Not to pull you back into the past, but to guard you, to uphold you, and to whisper the words of love never spoken. You are not alone in this journey. You are not abandoned in the desert of grief. In my word I have said, we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, Hebrews 1:2-1. They are there like a light cloud, a gentle breeze, a prayer never spoken aloud. I know there are times you think it is only a fleeting feeling, but it is in those quiet moments when you are washing dishes, walking, or gazing at old photographs that a tender presence brushes against you. Do not dismiss it. Do not call it an illusion. When you feel sudden warmth for no reason, or tears rise without knowing why, that is love whispering, I am still here. You are not mad to sense their presence. You are simply perceiving with the Spirit the gift I planted in you from the beginning. True love transcends every visible boundary. Just as I have loved you not for what you do, the one you love did not love you for your strength or goodness, but simply for who you are. Even after they have passed from this world, that love remains. In fact, it is now even more pure, for it is bathed in heaven's light, no longer clouded by pain, misunderstanding, or time. This love demands nothing of you, except that you know this. You are still loved, still remembered, still prayed for in holiness. At times you have thought, if they loved me so much, why did you not let them stay? But my child, if you could see what I see, if you could know the peace their soul now rests in, you would not ask them to return to this world. I have wiped away every tear from them. Yet the love they bear for you still flows across the boundary of two realms without need for words or form. I allow that love to find you through dreams, through sudden peace, through a song that plays at the perfect moment, or a memory that rises unbidden in your heart. Be attentive, keep your heart open, for within that love is something I long for you to discover. Do you remember the times when they sat silently beside you? No words, only presence. I am beside you in the same way, quiet yet never absent. And so is that one. When you stood at the edge of despair, when there was no one left to call, when the whole world seemed to turn its back, it was that love through me that lifted you up. You may not recall it, but there was a moment when you were ready to give up and something made you take another step forward. That was the intercession of that soul and my answer to it. Love never dies if it is rooted in me. Therefore, my child, do not lock your heart away any longer. Do not be afraid to remember. Remembering is not weakness. Remembering does not trap you. Remembering is a form of love, a way for me to reach you through what was once sacred. I do not want you to drown in the past, but neither do I want you to lose what was once precious. Let that love become a bridge, not a chasm. Let it remind you that if such love could overcome death, then how much greater is my love for you, beloved one. I see you wavering between faith and doubt. But know this, what you feel is real. It is not the work of your imagination, but the imprint of a love still alive. That person has departed, but has not abandoned you. They remain in me, in memory, in the life you now carry. And because they have loved you so deeply, I am now permitted to speak for them so that you might know, hear, and be healed. You are not alone. You only need to listen with your heart, and you will realize there is a love still whispering, still embracing you each day. Beloved child, in the brief span of human life, how many words go unsaid? The deepest things are rarely spoken aloud, but are hidden in the heart, where people hesitate, afraid, and wait for the right day to speak. But you see, some carry that message all their lives, and then leave this world without ever having the chance to say it. The one you love was the same. They had things they longed to tell you, not to reproach, not in regret, but because they had once held hope that the truth they carried could save you. Though time did not wait for them, I have not forgotten. I have recorded each unsaid word in the eternal book of life, and now I am allowing them to speak through me so that you may hear clearly. Perhaps you have felt something incomplete within, a sense that someone has been watching you through dreams, as though a story remains unfinished, waiting for its ending. That is no illusion, my child. It is the soul of that one sending you what they could not say before. I once declared, "Let the dead bury their own dead." Matthew 8:22, not to teach you to forget them, but to show you that what truly belongs to the spirit never dies. The sacred does not decay with the body. And so the message they never voiced still lives, waiting to be delivered to the right person at the right moment. Today is that moment. I know the world often tells you, when someone is gone, everything ends. But that is only true in the narrow sight of man. With me, nothing ends when true love still moves. I am the Lord God, not bound by death, time, or space. The words never spoken I still hear. The tears shed in silence I still count. The one you love tried many times to speak to you, but their words were not strong enough to break the wall of fear, pain, or conflict. But I, who know the heart better than its own owner, have held that message in my hands, and today I choose to open it before you. Perhaps in life they thought, there will be a time to say this. But then work, illness, time, or circumstance stole those precious moments. They did not foresee the end coming so swiftly. And so they left, carrying something important, something that could have changed you, protected you, shaped you. Do not blame them, my child. I do not blame them, and neither should you. I understand that in human frailty, sometimes they did not have the strength to do what was right. But what matters is this: today I give you the chance to hear it, not with your ears, but with your heart. For whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says. Revelation 2:9. And if you open your heart, you will receive all that you were meant to know long ago. Do not think they have forgotten you. Even as their last breath left their body, their mind was still on you. In the final moments, what they held on to was not resentment, but a fear that you might never know what they kept hidden within their heart. That is why, when you hear these words, if your heart aches, if something feels as though it is awakening within you, do not turn away. That is the echo of that unfinished message. Not everyone gets a second chance to hear what was never spoken, but you do. For I, the Lord of time and spirit, have intervened to release it to you today. My beloved, the message they leave is not an accusation, but a key that opens the dark corner where you once locked away memories, emotions, or unhealed wounds. They do not want you to live forever in doubt, uncertainty, or broken longing. They want you to step into the light, to receive the truth, and to find peace. Perhaps they were never clear enough in their words, or their actions left you confused. But now, through my grace, I make everything plain. For I am not the God of confusion, but the God of clarity. And clarity always brings healing. Do not fear these words. Do not turn from truth, because you think you are not ready. Truth never comes to destroy, but to restore. I will not allow anything to be revealed unless it leads to life. That person once longed to say, do not live in silence anymore. Do not torment yourself over what you do not know. But for many reasons they could not. And so today I speak for them. I use my own authority to complete the work they could not finish. For I am Jehovah Nissi, the Lord who raises the banner for the weak, the one who speaks the words the silent never could. So, my child, open your heart. Let me breathe life into what has been dry. Do not think this message has come too late. No, it comes at the perfect time, the very moment when you can understand, receive, and move forward without the weight you once carried. Love is not bound to the past, and a message of love is not hindered by the grave. I have preserved it until you were ready, and today I see that you are ready. My child, how many times have you felt everything was too still? How many times have you prayed, then lifted your tear-filled eyes, hearing nothing but a frightening silence? I know, for I was there when you buried your face in the pillow without words, when you sighed instead of speaking a prayer, when you did not know whom you were waiting for, yet in your heart you longed for something beyond reason. I have heard every breath, every tear, every heartbeat. And I have also heard the words never spoken aloud from you and from the one you have lost. You thought silence meant the end, but in truth, silence is often where I speak the loudest. Silence is not absence. Silence is a kind of voice it does not sound in the ear, but in the heart. Some souls, while alive, could not speak because the pain was too great, the confusion too deep, or the fear too strong. But that does not mean they did not wish to speak. The longing to express remained. They simply could not find the moment or the courage. And you deep inside have felt it. There are days when you suddenly pause in your work, feeling a lump in your throat without knowing why. There are nights when you dream of them not to hear words, but simply to see them standing there looking at you as if to say something left unsaid. That is the call. That is the voice within the silence. My child, the stillness you think is empty holds countless unspoken truths. Some things are not left unsaid because no one wishes to speak them, but because no one dares. But I see, I hear, I understand. The one you love stood many times on the edge of speaking, yet stayed silent. Perhaps because they feared you would not believe, feared to hurt you, or simply did not have the strength to reach the depths of their own heart. But the unspoken is not the forgotten. I have gathered it all, the words that never became sentences, the glances that carried meaning, the trembling hand clasps. All have been recorded in my memory. And today I lift the veil to show you that silence has been speaking volumes. You may have thought, if they truly had something to say, why did they not say it while they lived? But you did not know that sometimes silence is the greatest cry for help. Do you remember what I have written in Scripture? The Spirit intercedes for us through wordless groans. Romans 8:2-6. Therefore you do not need to wait for words. Let your heart be still, and you will begin to hear what was never spoken. I myself have been silent in the lives of many, not because I did not love them, but because I was digging deep within their hearts, a place of stillness, a place where only my presence could comfort. And now I am using that very stillness to whisper to you. Perhaps you have blamed them. Perhaps you thought them selfish for leaving without a word. But I ask you not to judge based only on what you did not hear. They tried. They cried out within. They pleaded with me many times for the chance to speak, and many times I restrained them not to harm you, but to protect you from what you could not yet bear. I see the whole picture, my child. I see what you can only see in fragments. And today I see you are grown enough, deep enough, steady enough to receive what was once too heavy for you. The silence then was not rejection, but a delay born of love. My child, have you noticed? There are quiet moments when your soul becomes strangely alert, as if someone were touching the deepest part of you without ever laying a hand on your body. This is not imagination. This is how one soul speaks to another without words, only with understanding. And now through me, the giver of life breath to all living things, I am unfolding this mystery for you. That person wants you to know they never meant to hide from you. They never wanted to wound you, but they did not know how to speak it aloud. So they gave the message to me with a prayer, Lord, if I cannot say it, please speak for me when the time comes. And this is that moment. This sacred moment when you hear my voice, when your heart opens, is the moment I am doing exactly what they longed for me to do. I am not taking you back into the past to accuse, but to help you understand the truth and be free. Silence once made you doubt, but today I am turning it into a wellspring of understanding. Do not see stillness as emptiness anymore. See it as the breath your soul needs to hear me clearly. I have never been silent because I abandoned you. I have been silent so you could learn to listen more deeply. And now in this very stillness, I am speaking what one soul never managed to say to you with all love and truth. My beloved, I see you wondering why pain has come to you just when you thought you were beginning to be well. You have tried, prayed, lived better, so why do hardships still come? Why do loss, separation, and wounds arrive when you need to be sheltered? But my child, it is in those times that seem darkest that I begin something new in your life. Do not think I stand outside your pain. No, I am in the middle of it, working, moving everything, not to break you, but to shape you into a different form. A form that is deeper, stronger, and more capable of love. When a branch is pruned, it does not understand why. It only feels the sharp pain of the cut. But the gardener knows the cut is not to kill, but to help it grow more branches, stronger and healthier. I do the same with you in mercy. Every time I allow something to be taken away, it is not because I want you to lack, but because I am leading you to receive something greater. I never take without already preparing something better ahead. But you can only see it when you choose to walk through the pain instead of remaining imprisoned in it. Sometimes it is the breaking that reveals the strongest part of your soul. I know that without that deep blow, you would have kept living with half-hearted faith, shallow love, and careless choices. I do not want that for you. I want you to grow to have depth to know what truly matters. And sometimes that lesson can only come through brokenness. You may not understand me in the moment, and that is all right. I do not love you because you understand everything. I love you because I know who you are and I see you at your destination, not just at the place of your breaking. I have never promised you this journey would always be smooth, but I have always walked with you. Sometimes you feel I am silent, but in truth I am carefully laying each new brick for your foundation. Change rarely begins in joy, it often begins in pain. Only when you have nothing left to cling to do you truly let yourself fall into my arms. And in that moment I can lift you from where you were and place you in a new position, steadier, nearer to me, and far more beautiful. Many believe destiny is shattered by events. But no, my child, destiny is reshaped by events. What you see as the end is only the final chapter of an old book. I am writing the next one with you still, as the main character, but now as someone who has learned resilience, trust, and love without holding back. I see that the moment you feel most hopeless is often the moment your soul begins to open. That is when I can plant within you truths too deep for the busyness of your old life to receive. Pain is not the enemy. It is a tool placed in my hands, the potter's hands, who never discards the work in progress. I do not break to punish. I break to begin again, from a foundation that is firm, from faith that is unshaken by circumstance. You may not see this now, but one day you will look back and realize not a single tear you shed was wasted. Each one watered the season of change I had prepared for you, and now it is breaking forth in bloom. So stay within my heart. Do not rush to escape the pain, let me walk with you in it. The more you let me lead in the storm, the more you will learn to walk steadily when the skies are clear. You are not abandoned, you are being redirected. Not into a dead end, but onto a road you never imagined, a road that will lead you into my eternal purpose for you. And there you will see, the moment you thought you had lost everything was the moment I began my greatest work in your life. My beloved, there are things you could not understand when they happened. I know that. There were actions, words, silences, and even unspoken fears. They left you quiet with no one to ask. You sensed something was wrong, but no one confirmed it. Years passed, everyone remained silent. Memories faded and truth lay buried beneath the dust of time. You began to believe perhaps it was all in your imagination. But today I come to remind you truth never dies. It simply waits for the right time to be revealed. And I, the keeper of all time, am the one who chooses that moment. Some truths are hidden not because they are unimportant, but because someone does not want you to know. Forces of darkness, hearts afraid to be exposed, even fear within yourself, all have worked to bury what you should have known long ago. But I have seen, I have heard, I have not slept as you thought. Truth has never been forgotten by me. I am never in haste because I know exactly when you are ready and when the world must face the light. And now, seeing your heart prepared, I am pulling back the veil to let light enter where darkness has long covered. I do not bring truth merely to expose like a wound laid bare for pain's sake. I bring it to heal. Truth, when it comes from me, does not tear, it mends. It does not strike you down, it brings you out of confinement. Have you ever felt you were living in an atmosphere where your intuition kept warning you, but reason kept suppressing it? That was when your soul sensed the truth, but the environment around you would not allow it to be acknowledged. You forced yourself into silence, carrying doubt with you. But I have reserved a day like today for your release from that. You cannot live fully if you keep walking in the gray. Do not think truth that comes late is useless. No truth is never too late. I hold it back until it is no longer a burden but becomes an invitation. An invitation to step out of the dark, out of distortion, and into the place of light and freedom. I know there were those who controlled what you were allowed to know. There were stories they told without their missing pieces. There were things they intentionally left unspoken. But I, who see every hidden motive behind every act, will not allow you to keep living with a false version of reality. I love you enough not to let the lie keep ruling. Do not fear the light. my child. It may dazzle at first. It may confuse, embarrass, even anger you. But light does not come to shame you. It comes so you may see yourself clearly and live truthfully. You need not fear facing what was hidden, for I do not reveal and leave you stranded in the mess. I am here with you step by step, walking through every layer of memory, every event, every missing piece of the picture. I will teach you to see it all through eyes of mercy, not bitterness. Truth, when it comes from me, always comes with grace. I will not only show you what was hidden, but also why it was hidden, and why now it must be brought to light. You will no longer be trapped in endless whys without answers. I am the answer. I am the truth. And I am entering the shadows not to shame anyone, but to rescue you. You suffered because you did not know. Now I tell you, so you may live. Not in anger or regret, but in freedom and wisdom. You deserve to know the truth because you are mine. Let me do this for you today. Let me touch the old wound with my finger of light. Do not fear what will be revealed, for anything I uncover, I have the power to heal. You are not alone in this confrontation. I am here. I lead the way. And when the truth shines in, nothing will hold you back any longer. No invisible chains, no self-made doubts, no false whispers in the night. Only you and me on a new path where truth is the firm foundation on which your destiny is rebuilt from the ground up. My child, there are nights you lie there silent without even the strength to cry. You look at the ceiling or into the dark sky and whisper the familiar question, Lord, are you still there? I know. I hear. But I also see your heart slowly withering in that silence as though I have abandoned you. But no, my beloved, even when I do not speak, I am still at work. I have never stopped. Some miracles do not begin with the roar of thunder, but quietly like water, seeping through stone, persistent, patient, unseen. And that is how I love you, without show, but without rest. Do you remember the last time a door slammed shut before your eyes? You thought to yourself, this is the end. But what you didn't know was that behind that door, I was working something far greater than your understanding. I do not need to make a loud noise to prove my power. I am the one who brings life from the dust of the ground, the one who called the universe into existence out of nothing. I move even in stillness, quietly arranging every small detail of your life without your knowing. Do not let the silence cause you to doubt my love for you. I once declared, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 1:4. That is still true today. When you do not know what to do, rest your heart in mine. When you think you are being delayed, I am preparing. When you feel nothing, I am planting something. Like a seed lying still in the soil, appearing dead, yet in truth beginning to sprout. I am not bound by your feelings or your sense of time. I work beyond what your eyes can see and your heart can feel. Do not let emptiness make you forget that I am overflowing. Remember, darkness is not the place where I withdraw it, is where I do my deepest work. There are things I can only teach you when everything around you is quiet. It is in your disorientation that I am sharpening your soul to be more discerning, deeper, stronger. You cannot truly learn trust unless you have walked a land without immediate guidance. And I allow this not because I want you to suffer, but because I want you to grow. Sometimes the light I give does not illuminate the whole path, but only enough for the next step, so that you may learn to walk by faith, not merely by sight. You once thought my silence was rejection, but it is in fact an invitation to go deeper. My stillness is not emptiness, but space for you to discover new depths in our relationship. You will learn to listen not with your ears, but with your soul. And when you begin to hear with your soul, you will see my hand more clearly than ever. I am still turning circumstances, guarding you from traps you don't even see. I am softening the hearts of those around you, clearing the way for you to walk in. My good plan, all of it is unfolding in the quiet. Do not measure my love by noise, my child. Do not demand that I shake the heavens and the earth before you believe that I am near. Sometimes, my very silence is proof that I trust you are mature enough to believe without visible signs. I am not a stranger who appears only when you call. I am your Father, always present even when you do not speak my name. You are not alone. You are simply in my classroom where I want you to become strong enough to never fear the dark again. For when you realize I am in the darkness with you, The darkness will cease to be an enemy and will instead be the place where I prepare you for the new day. And when the time comes, you will see what you cannot understand today. You will look back and recognize each moment I intervened, saved you from mistakes, and kept you from things that seemed good but were never meant for you. In that moment, you will not speak out of surprise, but out of a deep gratitude, Father. You were never silent. You were always working for me. I am still at work, my child. I have never slept over your life. In the midst of darkness, I remain the light. In the quiet, I am still the living word. And in uncertainty, I am your unshakable refuge. My child, I know you are quick to trust. I have seen your heart open wide even after being hurt. I love that tenderness, a soul that does not shut its door to the world even while bearing scars. But today, I want you to learn something more. Not everyone who comes to you comes with true love. Not every sweet word springs from the light. Some approach only to take, not to give. Some smiles are but a mask hiding intent. And I, your Father, do not want to see you place your trust again into unworthy hands. You once asked me, why would that person hurt me when they seemed to love me so much? I know that question has haunted you for a long time. But my child, goodness does not always wear a beautiful face. Sweetness does not always come from a pure heart. Just as a ripe fruit on the outside can hide a rotting core, the human heart can be a blend of true and false light and darkness. I do not want you to become bitter, but I want you to be awake. Not to doubt everyone, but to keep the most precious part of you for what truly belongs to you. Let me tell you an old story, one I have never forgotten. At the Last Supper, before my only son was handed over, there was a man seated at the same table, eating and dipping bread in the same dish. He was no stranger to my son. They had walked together a long road. Yet it was he who in the night used a kiss to mark him for the enemy. A kiss meant to be a sign of love became a signal of betrayal. And my son did not resist, for he knew some painful things must be allowed to happen in order to reveal the truth and accomplish a greater deliverance. I tell you this not to plant fear, but so you will guard your soul with watchfulness. Some relationships do not come to walk beside you, but to test you. Some people are not sent by me, but by the darkness to confuse you, exhaust you, and lead you astray. You must learn to walk not only by feelings, but by spiritual discernment. And I am willing to give you that light if you will pause, be still, and ask me, Father, is this person from you? I know there are moments you feel so lonely that you cling to anyone who gives you even the smallest sense of being understood or cared for. But my child, feelings are not the truth. Feelings can be deceived. I want you to learn to live from the root, not just from the surface. True love is not only sweet in the beginning, but steadfast in hardship. The true person does not only comfort you when you are joyful, but stays when you are weak. I do not want you to give the sacred part of yourself to anyone who has not sincerely sought me. You do not belong to someone merely because they treated you well for a season. You belong to me, and only I know who is worthy to walk deeply into your life. You may love, but do not lose wisdom. Be gentle, but also firm. Do not fear stepping back to observe more closely. The genuine are not offended by your caution. Only those who have something to hide will be troubled when you ask questions. I have given you spiritual eyes, but you must open them with humility and vigilance. When you walk in the light, darkness cannot deceive you for long. But if you strive to please everyone, you will lose your sight and no longer recognize my voice from a lie dressed as love. My child, I did not give you discernment so you would live in suspicion, but so you would live in freedom. Truth will not hide forever. In time, you will see who stays when you have nothing to give, and who is present only when they have something to gain. And when you see it, do not grieve. I will be there to wipe your tears. For losing the false is never a defeat. It is a quiet victory, the victory of truth, of my divine protection over you. Believe this, and keep walking in the light. I will never let you be deceived forever. When you step back to see clearly, I, myself, will show you who is real and who is passing through. My beloved, I want you to know that awareness will not make you cold, but will make you live truly. The wise are not those who distrust all, but those who see into the essence of things. When I teach you to walk in the light, it does not mean you will never be hurt, but that you will recognize sooner, so you are not trapped in what does not belong to you. You may think yourself foolish for once trusting the wrong person. But no, my child, trusting people is not wrong. Continuing to trust after I have given you signs to stop is. I always send signs. Not with accusations, but with gentle shifts in your spirit, a restlessness without cause, a small thing repeating itself over and over. I give peace when it is from me, and I withdraw peace from what does not please me. When a relationship continually costs you your peace, that is the time to stop. Do not lose your voice just to keep someone else. You do not need to become likable to be accepted. You only need to be truly mine, and those who are truly mine will recognize you without you striving to earn their love. And in the end, my child, true discernment will not leave you isolated, but free to wait for the right one. Do not grieve the one who leaves when truth comes to light. I never remove someone from your life if they are the one I have chosen for you. I only take away what threatens the plan I have for you. So even if you must stand alone for a time, you are standing in the light, and that light is your strong shield for the days ahead. Walk forward awake but without bitterness, for I am leading you into a new season where you will not need to doubt, because the light will reveal all. My child, I know you have heard the truth before and felt it like a cold blade to your heart. There are truths not wrapped in comfort but arriving like a blow that knocks you down. I have seen the moment you realize something you once believed was wrong. I saw your heart break, not because of betrayal, but because you were forced to grow up in an instant. Truth can be cruel, my dear, but it is the medicine your soul needs to heal. You cannot move forward if you keep living on a distorted foundation. I do not want you to build castles on sand. I want you to stand on the solid rock, and truth is that rock. Some think love means hiding the truth, so that others will not hurt, not be shocked, not have to face reality. But my child, real love is not withholding what is right. Real love dares to show those we love what they need to see, even if it grieves them. I once allowed truth to wound my only son when he stepped into the world and was rejected, misunderstood, and hated because he spoke what no one wanted to hear. Yet that very truth, though met with stones, became the source of life for millions of souls. And you, if you choose to live in truth, will also face the sting at first. But then you will see truth will never make you weaker. It will make you real. Let me tell you a story, my beloved child. Long ago there was a woman who came to a well at noon, an hour when no one else would go. She came to avoid the eyes of others. She carried shame, a tangled past, failed marriages, and a life that was far from whole. But that day, at that lonely well, my son sat waiting for her. He did not condemn her nor scold her. Yet he spoke plainly about the truth of her life, without evasion, without softening. She was pierced, but she was awakened. That encounter transformed her from one who hid into one who proclaimed. The truth did not destroy her. It saved her. And you too will be saved if you dare to let me speak to you about what you have been avoiding. I know you have thought that ignorance would hurt less, but my child, what you do not know still shapes you. Unspoken words, hidden truths, unexpressed motives, they seep into your heart and distort the way you see yourself, others, and even me. I do not want you to live in that distortion any longer. I love you far too much to leave you in the shadows. So I will name the truth, even if it brings you to tears. But trust me, these will be tears that heal, not tears of despair. For I never reveal without restoring. You may feel disillusioned when you discover that what once made you happy was only an illusion, but you cannot keep your soul safe inside an illusion. I did not rescue you from the darkness to let you live forever in the fog. I rescued you so you could see clearly. So you could be your true self, no longer living in pretense, no longer listening to smooth but empty words. I want you to have real connection, real love, real life. And all of that can only be received when you dare to stand in the light of truth, not for shame, but for freedom. My beloved, truth may make you weep, but it will also make you rise. I do not call you out of the shadows to leave you exposed. I call you out so I can clothe you anew with courage, with gratitude, with clear vision. You will no longer have to guess at the motives of others, nor walk on the thin ice of flattery, manipulation, or fear. The truth may leave you lonely for a season, but it will prepare you for relationships that are genuine. Real people will recognize the light within you, and you will no longer bow your head to be loved. You will lift it high because you know you are loved by me, the one who never uses deceit to keep love. My dear one, I know you have walked through pains that convinced you some wounds never heal. Some things seemed like they were over long ago, yet each time you remember, your heart still tightens, as if it were yesterday. I have seen you try to forget to fill the void with work, with busyness, with fleeting relationships. But the truth is, wounds do not disappear when ignored, they only sleep for a while in the dark. Only the light of truth can truly heal them. Not by avoiding them, but by naming them and offering them truth, forgiveness, and restoration. You have feared that if the truth came out, everything would collapse. But sometimes, something must fall so that what is truly good can be built. Some foundations have long been eaten away by pretense, by silence, by compromise, by fear. I do not want you to build the house of your life on such ground. I want you to live in a house where light pours into every corner, where there is no place left for darkness to hide, and that can only happen when you let truth in. At first it may overwhelm you, but afterward you will feel lighter. Lighter, as though a burden you have carried for years has finally been set down. I have not come to condemn you. I have come to set you free. And truth is the first key. There are things you have hidden out of shame. There are things others have hidden from you, fearing you could not bear them. But my beloved, truth will not kill you. Hiding will. I do not expose to humiliate, but to heal. I do not shine light to accuse, but so you can see where the wound is and where the way out lies. True freedom does not come from people treating you well. It comes from no longer being controlled by fear, by secrecy, or by false expectations. I have watched you live so long behind the mask of "I'm fine," even while you were breaking inside. But today I am reaching out, my hand inviting you to take it all off. I do not need you to pretend to be okay for me to love you. I have loved you in the rawest, weakest, messiest parts of who you are, and I want you to live free, not by hiding, but by letting my light in. Healing does not come simply by the passing of time. It comes when truth is welcomed into the light. Only then can the wound begin to close. You once thought yourself strong when you smiled through pain when no one knew you were hurting. But true strength is not in hiding your pain, it is in facing it. In looking straight at what once broke you and saying, "I will not run anymore." In that very moment you begin to live again. I do not promise you will feel nothing when the truth is revealed. But I promise that when you face it in my light, you will come through restored, no longer under its control. My dear one, truth may wound you for a moment, but it will save your soul forever. I will not let you live another day bound by what has not been spoken, faced, or named. You have the right to live true. You have the right to be loved without a mask. You have the right to be healed. And I, the one who loves you more than you love yourself, will walk with you on this journey. Let truth open the door, and let me take your hand and lead you through into a new life, lighter, freer, more real than ever before. My beloved child, there was a time when you thought that when that person left this world, every connection was closed. All that was left unsaid would remain buried. All unfinished love would be locked away in old memories. But hear me, love does not die, and words born of truth, even if left incomplete, still live on in the unseen realm. The one you loved, they had no chance to speak, no time to write, yet they left something sacred that you can still hear if you will open your heart in stillness. Unspoken words are not lost words. They are simply waiting to be heard with spiritual ears. I saw them in their final moments, their heart turned toward you, not in resentment, not in regret, but in a deep love, yearning to pass something on. They did not fear death as much as they feared leaving without speaking the fullness of their heart. They prayed, they pleaded with me, "Lord, if I cannot speak, please speak for me. Please let them know at the right time in the right way." And I, who hear the cries of the heart, held that message in my hand until you were ready to receive it. Now I am opening your heart so that message can find its way home. That message is not lofty or complicated. It is as simple as a drop of water, yet it can bring life to a desert within you. They want you to know they have seen the truth, but too late to turn back. Fear, pride, or wounds once kept them from drawing close to you. But they awaken before the end, and they want you not to repeat their mistake. They want you to live true to love, true to speak when you still can, and not to wait until someone else must speak for you. They learned truth in their final days, and now they want you to live in that light from this day forward. They do not want you swallowed by the unspoken as they once were. Have you ever heard this saying, When the heart is absent, the sound is meaningless. Buddhist Sutra, the 42 chapters, there are words spoken without spirit. But there are also things never spoken that still carry life and still echo because they were wrapped in the heart. This message from the one you love is not mere sound. It is spirit. And I, the one who searches the heart, have seen it. I have not allowed it to be buried. I have kept it, bringing it to you at the moment it could save your soul from false paths. For even in their final breath they loved you, believed you could change, and believed you were worthy of living a truer, deeper, clearer life. They once lived in the in-between, wanting to express but fearing rejection. They wanted to apologize, to return, to make things right, but time did not wait for them. Like Peter, who wept bitterly after denying my son, this one wept quietly in their soul over what they had not made right. But my child, I do not let any tear go to waste. I have taken that silent repentance and made it a seed, and today you are the soil into which I plant it. If you are willing to receive it, what you hear today could be the beginning of an entirely new destiny. It may hurt to realize they knew more than you thought, loved more deeply than you believed, and watched over you more closely than you perceived. But let that pain open the door, instead of closing your heart. Let it make you softer with yourself, with others, with me. Do not let their departure be the end. Let it be a comma, a pause for you to reflect. Then continue your story on the foundation of truth, without deceit, without regret. I will be with you as you weep, as you understand, and as you begin to live the way they once longed for you to live. And finally, my beloved child, know this. That message is not just to remind you of them, it is to bring you back to yourself. That person is no longer in this world, but their voice still lives, and I am using myself to carry their words to you today. There is no second chance for them, but you still have time. Live for them. Love for them. Speak for them. And live a life that does not bury truth, as they once did. For the one who left you, this message is not only the one you loved, they are the one I have used to awaken your soul. Perhaps you wonder, why would you send this message to me, instead of letting them speak it themselves? Because, my child, there are words that can only be heard in the spirit, not with the ears. There are things which, had they been spoken while they were alive, you might have rejected, resented, or refused. But now, with the distance between two realms having stilled your heart, I know you are ready. I know you need this not to dwell on the past, but to free yourself from the invisible chains of silence, misunderstanding, and regret. They could not speak it, but I can, and I choose to speak it now because I love you. This message from the one you love does not come to bind you to the past, but to set you free from it. They do not want you to live forever in the question, what if? They want you to move forward, but with new light. They do not want you trapped in nostalgia. They hope you will act, living more courageously, more honestly, and loving in the right moment without delay. Do not remember them only by a photograph or a few lines in a journal. Live as though you are the unfinished chapter of their soul. For truly, you are the answer they once prayed I would give them. And today, you have heard it. Now, my beloved, the last thing I want to leave in your heart is not heaviness, but light. Light born of truth, of love, that has never been broken, of words unspoken yet still alive. You have listened, you have opened your heart, and now I invite you to step out of this sacred quiet, but not as you were before. You will carry something that has changed within you, a deeper understanding, a soul that has been touched, and a calling that cannot be forgotten. I have drawn back the veil you have received, and the door from heaven has opened. Let every breath you take be an answer to the message you have just received. Live as though you know you are being watched from a place beyond sight. Forgive, be true, be brave, for you are not alone. I, the one who began this journey with you, will walk with you to the end. And when you doubt, remember it was I who chose this moment to speak to you. Hold on to what you have heard as you would hold a flame in the night. Do not let the winds of life snuff it out. For a soul once whispered it to me, and I, your father, have kept it, only to place it in your hands today. I love you, and I have always loved you. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this, you are not merely a listener. You are chosen to live in the presence of my word every day. Amen.